Okay, so I started to make a video last night. I was going to replace the switches that are bad, and the switch started working, and so now it's bad again today. You can see these three work fine. This one is intermittent. You don't want to be pressing that 4 times on stage to get it to light. So I'm going to open this up and we'll replace the switch. I'll show you how I desolder it and blah blah blah. First thing, before you unscrew these screws, lift the expression pedal all the way up. This just has a plastic optical slide on it, if you will, that the thing reads, and the part that reads it is on the bottom, so they're separate. You don't want them smashing together. Okay, so I've loosened these screws already, and they are standard thread on mine. I don't know if these have been replaced with anything or not, but mine has 7/64 cap head screws. So go ahead and loosen those up. Again, before you pull these out, make sure this is in the all the way up position. Is that in there? No. So this, you want the expression pedal all the way toe up, because there's just a little plastic sensor in there, a little plastic sheet, I should say, with a gradation in darkness or opaqueness, transparency, however you want to look at it. And the reader is mounted on the board below this, so when you lift it up, those two components come apart, and you don't want to scratch that plastic piece up. Now, if your pedal is just falling down, on mine, it's a 7/16 bolt that goes through there with a 7/16 lock nut, or nylock, I believe, on the other side. I believe that's correct. It's been a while since I did it. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, I still got one screw here. Hold that. Okay. Alright, and then just lift this baby straight up gently, because it is wired to the board still. I believe. Yeah, what I did was I took it and turned it like that. For now, right there. Okay, so this is your reader. Can you see that? That's the optical reader that this pedal engages. Okay, and you can see it's just a flimsy piece of plastic with a gradation scale on it. So that calibrates with each thing. So now this is the strip. Are we in the sight of the... Let's pull this in a little. This is the strip with the 4 switches mounted to it. I got these 8 screws to pull out. We're gonna... Actually, I'm on switch 1. So I'm gonna desolder. There's your switch contacts right there. So we'll desolder those and then pull that switch out and pop the new one in. And I'll show you how to do it. This is the one I'm after. Okay, so again, just be careful of those ribbon cables. I still got that power supply thing in there. Pigtail. So, actually, I'll do it just like that. Alright. So this is switch number 2. You can see my solder joint already there. And this is the one that's crappy now. So now the original switches, this is the one that I pulled out. You can see that they have a lead on each side. I don't know if you can see that against that. That comes out of the middle of the side. Now the ones that I have to replace them actually have 4 prongs. And it's still only 2 connections, they just kind of doubled up on the prongs. So these come out of the corners. I know they're so small it's hard to hold and show it. Okay, so you got 4 connectors on this. And what I'll do is I'll cut off one on this corner and then one on that corner and put the switch in at a 45-degree angle. I know, again, it's so small it's hard to see. So that I'll pick up the corners in these solder holes. You know, the PC board holes when I go to solder it. And these 2 are connected together as these 2 are connected together, and then your momentary contact makes the connection between them. So you just gotta cut off one on each corner and you'll be all set. Alright, time to get the soldering done. Alright, standard Phillips. We'll pull these 4 screws. Now we'll go to the small side. Yep, this is a local ham radio 2-meter repeater. Hopefully no one starts gabbing on it. I'll have to shut the radio off. So anyone who doesn't do this kind of stuff, when you go to put these in, turn them backwards first so that you feel them drop into the threads that are already cut. Otherwise, after 2 or 3 times out, you have no more threads left. Okay, and so there's your switches. That's all that big switch is. Okay, I'll try not to get in the way, but those are the 2 contacts we're going after. Got my heavy duty iron here. I'd rather put a lot of heat in it quick than try and heat it up slowly. It takes too long. You put too much heat into the board and the components this way here. Heats it up, turns it to liquid fast, and you pull it out. Do the same thing here again. And I'm going to go a little bit more on that first one. Okay, so I can actually see light through that now. Alright, so now I'm going to take and flip this over. And I'll use an X-Acto knife underneath there and lift that at the same time that I heat up the bottoms, and we'll pull that out the rest of the way. I'm just using this flat blade. You can use whatever you got, you know, just all you want to do is put a little bit of pressure underneath there while you heat it up, and that should pop right out now. I wish I had a third hand or a small vise. So, we saw a case of too much heat go in, literally melted the bottom of the socket, the switch I mean. So somewhere, right around here, I should have a pair of hemostats. We'll grab right onto that other pin and pull that right out while we heat it up. Or I can just take it and heat it up and let it drop right out. Okay. Did I get it, or did I just get plastic? Nope, I got it. Okay, so now as you can see the hole's still filled. So that would make it pretty difficult for me to get the part in, so we'll hit it one more time with the sucker to draw that out of there. Get that off my plastic. Okay, so now we got a clean hole. Now we'll clean that tip. Always keep your tip good and clean on your soldering iron. Last a long time. No matter what type of iron you use, whether it's a pen or this type, just keep that nice and clean. So there's my pins bent in to line up with those holes. You can see I got one corner on each side. Depending on your switch, you know, you might have to do it different. But that will center right up where the old switch was. We'll stick that right in there. Just like that. Yep. Come on. Yep, I gotta adjust my spacing a little more. Huh. She's a-fighting. Try and straighten this out. Hemostats are handy for that. Just give it a quick squeeze. Alright, that looks like I've got them both in there. Have a quick look with the magnifier. Nope, I don't see that one. I want to see them both sticking right through there. It's there, but not coming through yet. So it would be nice if you could get the direct replacements. Would come with just the 2 pins. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna set this up so I can load my tip. Grab the gun, heat it up. Dip it in a little flux. And pick up a little solder. That's it. Let that cool. Alright. So, terrible position. But we'll push that down as much as we can. Get it over the center of that square. Alright, so that's pretty good right there. Just clean up my tip again. I always clean that tip right up afterwards. Use a good heavy rag so you don't burn your hands. That's what it should look like when you put it away. Alright, I'm going to screw this on, and that way I can actually show you what I was talking about with the backing up of the threads. So I just turned that back. It probably only took a quarter of a turn. You can just kind of hear it thump in right there. And so that aligns the threads in the screw right back to the original threads cut in that plastic, so that I'm not cutting new grooves. And that will last a whole lot longer if you do that with anything plastic, and it's also a good idea with sheet metal type screws too. Okay. So, nothing big there, but just one of those things I wanted to show, because sometimes concepts get lost in words, you know, and there's nothing like seeing it. So now you know. Back them up, you'll hear it drop, and then you screw it in. So then I like to go from the middle out as far as tightening them goes. Just so it lays good and flat. Probably old habit from doing engines, working on heads and manifolds and stuff like that. Okie doke. So now I'm just going to put that over, and actually I'll show you when I go to put that on too. Alright, so again, when you put this together, expression pedal all the way up so that that minimal amount of that plexiglass, plastic, whatever it is sticking down. I'll start by doing the middle screw on each end just to keep it lined up. Just by hand tight, we'll do the bottom one. Bottom one on this side. And it's a little tight at the bottom of the pedal, but try and keep that pedal up when you do this. Alright, if I can get that untangled from my power supply. And we'll stick those right underneath there. And we'll put in those top two on the sides, followed by the top one in the middle. And again, the order isn't super critical. I just tend to follow things in an even pattern, force a habit. I like to get the bottom side ones put in first just to keep things lined up so that I know that's not scraping in there. There is a little bit of slop. Alright, so like I said before, I like to start in the middle and work my way out. So I'll snug this one up first. Very, very lightly. Okay, and once those three are snug, just check this. Make sure you don't hear any scraping when you move that. If you do, then what you're going to do is you're going to scratch the gradation off of that piece that's attached to the pedal itself, and you'll end up losing your expression ability. So this should be A-okay now. We'll get these other couple screws in and plug in the power. And make sure that everything's happy now. Should be good. It's a great little unit, the RP2000. I love it. I picked this up off eBay for 29 bucks frozen. Did a quick reset on it and found the number 2 switch was bad. Fixed that, and it was going along good till the number 1 switch died. So, and I mean, it's old. So how come that didn't come right on? Oh, because the plug came out. There we go. Switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, switch 1. This is the one we just replaced. So that's functioning now. So you can change these with the wheel, but you know, obviously if you're on stage playing, you want to just step on things and have them change quickly. It's a great little unit, like I said. So now this bank will advance the bank, and then you hit whichever one you want. So that worked out good. Good enough, alright. All these switches up here use that same type of switch. And like I said, ultimately what you want to do is you want to get a switch like this, with the 2 pins coming out of the middle of each side, not the 4 corners, so you don't have to kitty corner it like I did. Okay, so since originally making the video, I have acquired a bunch of these 2-pin units. So this is just a 6x6, 4.3 millimeters tall, or 5 will work, it doesn't matter. And this is what you saw me struggling with to put in, was this 4-pin, where I had cut one off each corner and then turned it at a 45. So now this is just so simple, because you just slide that right in and it fits like a dream. Let's see if I can get this to focus. And so I'd seen these on eBay and Amazon, and you can get like 100 of these for 15 bucks. And so I picked up 40 of them when I grabbed them, because that Digitech RP2000 uses these switches throughout. So all the matrix buttons and all the function buttons in the upper right side are all this exact same button, same switch. So that's what you want to get. It's just a 6x6 2-pin momentary contact, single pole, single throw. Very simple. And the soldering braid is another thing. When you saw me desolder this, I just used the solder sucker. And so if you go in with solder braid, it's just flat copper braid, and just heat that braid up right on the solder. It'll suck all the rest of the solder right off that PC board pad. And so there's very little left, if anything, touching those pins. And then that switch will pull right out with ease. But that's it. I hope it helps.